Favor and disgrace would seem equally to be feared. Honor and great calamity to be regarded as personal conditions of the same kind. What is meant by speaking thus of favor and disgrace? Disgrace is being in a low position after the enjoyment of favor. The getting that favor leads to the apprehension of losing it, and the losing it leads to the fear of still greater calamity. This is what is meant by saying that favor and disgrace would seem equally to be feared. And what is meant by saying that honor and great calamity are to be similarly regarded as personal conditions? What makes me liable to great calamity is my having the body which I call myself. If I had not the body, what great calamity would come to me? Therefore, he who would administer the kingdom, honoring it as he honors his own person, may be employed to govern it, and he who would administer it with the love which he bears to his own person may be entrusted with it. Okay, I know that the translation I picked for this chapter is a little wordy, but after looking over quite a few different translations, I finally settled on this one for the video because of its detail and clarity. In this chapter, we're dealing with honor, disgrace, and the meaning of true selfless love. The chapter starts out with this statement: favor and disgrace would seem equally to be feared, and then it goes on to explain itself. The long and short of it is that being honored and favored by others comes with many of the same dangers and discomforts as being hated or disgraced by them. Why is this? Because they both inspire fear in us. Being disliked or disgraced by others is a very uncomfortable feeling. It often leads to feelings of rejection and worthlessness. The need to be accepted by the tribe is a primal human instinct. This instinct has served humanity very well up to now, at least from a survival perspective. The need for a tribe of prehistoric humans to stick together in a world of cold, starvation, and wild animals is obvious. To these early human ancestors, being expelled from the tribe was probably about the same thing as a death sentence, because a solitary human would have had a much more difficult time surviving out in the wild than a group of humans supporting and protecting each other. In fact, human cooperation and pro-social behavior is often regarded by scientists as one of the key factors that led to humanity's getting the upper hand on most other species, at least from an evolutionary perspective. However, this instinct for social survival has brought with it a certain amount of evolutionary baggage that does not serve us very well. No doubt our need for other people still exists, even if it's no longer for the purpose of fighting off wolves or foraging for food. We still need the support of people around us who care about us. But usually, it's not the matter of life and death that it was for our ancestors. However, for our brains, social rejection is still treated as if it were a matter of life and death. Therefore, being rejected or denounced by others leads to feelings of extreme fear or discomfort. However, being in great favor with other people also inspires these same feelings. If you understand a little bit about how the brain works, then you'll know that it utilizes pleasure-inducing chemicals to motivate us to do things that are beneficial for our physical survival, dopamine being the big one. However, as we covered in my two-part series on dopamine, our brains have moving dopamine baselines that cause us to continue to seek these survival resources, even if we already have enough. For this reason, there is no amount of food, comfort, or social validation that can satisfy us if we do not train our brains to think otherwise. Therefore, if we are relying on social acceptance in order to feel safe, we will never feel safe. We will always feel like we need more, and we will always be afraid to lose that which we have. Therefore, social rejection leads to fear of bad things happening, while great social honor leads to the fear of losing this honor. And at the end of the day, both of these situations are the result of our physicality. The fact that we have bodies and brains that revolve around physical survival causes us to be in constant fear of that survival being threatened. Hunger, cold, and rejection make us feel uncomfortable because we have bodies that are threatened by them. Most, if not all, of our suffering has to do with our existence in a physical world. So what are we to do about this? Well, the answer is a bit of a paradox. Our brains would certainly be inclined to think that the answer would be to struggle even harder to meet our needs, but instead, the chapter turns our focus outward. Lao Tzu takes a bit of a pivot here and begins to talk about administering kingdoms, seemingly a change of topic. However, he is building upon the groundwork we have already laid by establishing the body as our main source of concern as physical beings. He says in essence, okay, so you know how we talked about all of your concern and care being a result of the need to preserve the well-being of your physical body? Now take that same concern and care that you have for your body and have it for other people. Treat them with the same deference and urgency that you would have for meeting your own physical needs for food, sleep, and safety. If you can do this, you are in a position to be trusted with the well-being of other people, because you have taken their well-being as your well-being, their needs as your needs. You are realizing your oneness with all people and all things. You are finding the state of primal union where the illusions of self and other begin to disappear. All rules for human behavior, all of morality comes down to this, to attain this love for all things and all people. And as always, please be aware that this is all just my interpretation of things, and I could be completely wrong. Feel free to take what is useful to you and leave that which is not. This is just how I see the world. So with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for chapter 14. Peace and blessings.